Hey there, Phil Smy here. This video is not a part of a series, incredibly. This is just kind of one of my rambling, what's happening to me kind of videos. And I'm going to try and do these once a month. Not that anybody cares what I'm doing, but you know, why not? So, this month, November 2015, it's more than half over. It's been a trying month this month. I've had a couple partnerships dissolve, and for different reasons, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video, and I'll try and make it short. I thought maybe you could like to see some real-world experience of mine. So I had two partnerships dissolve. One of them was this online business that I'm doing with a guy I've known for quite some time, and who I have great respect for and everything. And what happened is that he decided that really this business wasn't for him. The way it was going and the way it was probably going to play out, it just doesn't sit with him and what he wants to kind of focus on. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, he was upfront and straight about it. And, you know, good for him. It's a shame that, you know, we've been working on it for more than a year. And this is an idea that he kind of came to me with. And, you know, I got involved because of that. But it's fine. That's his choice. He's backing his way out slowly and leaving everything, you know, in place and making sure I have a good understanding and I can get some other partner in if I need to, or, you know, which is probably what's going to happen. That's fine. It's a shame, but fine. And, you know, he's going to go off and continue on his way, and he's doing some exciting things, and that's, you know, what can you expect? You can't do everything, right? So, that was that. Now, the other one was a little different. And this is a relationship that was perhaps closer to a mentor-mentee relationship, I being the mentor, this person being the mentee. That I decided to end. And the reason I decided to end it was, well, I had, you know, had a good day with this person. We'd covered some interesting ground. And then I'd gone back and I'd talked to my mentor about the situation. And really in that conversation, it came out that, well, the question was, well, you know, where's my upside in this? And, not that you should have to look at everything in dollars and cents, but it was, is this balanced? Because it was not just mentor-mentee, we were actually doing something together, doing a few things together. And the way it really seemed is that this person talked a lot, didn't do much. And they liked the idea of doing it, but not seemingly the actual doing it. And like the idea of where it could get them, but not the getting there, you know? You have to love the grind, as Ray Kroc said, I believe. You know, because life is the grind, is the work, is the getting there, you know? And quite frankly, this person didn't put in the hours, you know? It's not a fucking hobby. They had reasons, excuses that they didn't put in the hours. But it doesn't matter, you know. If you want something, you work for it straight on, you know. And you don't piss away the day. You know, I'm guilty of that sometimes, of course. But really, I get up in the morning, not that this is about me, but this is the example I know because it's me. You get up in the morning, you know, I have my kale juice. I do 15-20 minutes of meditation. Maybe you didn't know that. And then I start my day. And you know, I've got my phone or my computer with me until I go to sleep at night. You know, my significant other comes home and, okay, we have dinner together, but I still have the phone there because, you know, I have to check sometimes for clients. I'm still doing things all the time. This person was unreachable often. And it was getting worse, to be honest. And, we had started out in one place, and for whatever reason, that place was no longer good for them. And, as Charlie Munger says, to get what you want, you need to deserve what you want. And this person just plain and simple didn't deserve it. And, it's a shame, and it was a difficult choice to make. But when I realized they just weren't going to put in the time, and just hadn't been putting in the time, I felt I didn't have any choice. And so I dumped them. And that was painful. And, maybe I didn't do it in the best of ways, but it had to be done. And I was upset about it for a little while. But then I saw the upside. And that's kind of also the other thing I wanted to talk about here, is that there is an upside to these things, you have to look at things positively, and you have to take on these obstacles as opportunities, And so for me, separated from that person, I was now free to pursue at least half of this project that we were doing together the way I wanted to do it, without any concern for the way they wanted to do it, which I perhaps didn't agree with. So my ends could still be accomplished on certain parts of this. So that's an upside. I didn't have to take them into consideration anymore. The other half was kind of for them. It was things I was doing for them, trying to show to them and lead them in. And they weren't taking the leadership so well, obviously, because they weren't doing anything. Or what they were doing was minor. I don't want to totally flush away what their contribution was, but the contribution was minor. And if there's a promise of payoff or talk of payoff in the future, you have to really be able to step back and say, okay, are we making any steps towards that? And just there were no steps. And it became apparent that really this person had their goal that was totally self-serving. And I was just there to assist them to get to their goal, which I honestly don't think they're going to get to anyway. Because if they were going to get to it, they would have got to it by now. Harsh, maybe. But that's life, right? And so now I'm free of that. So I'm kind of free of two things, which is good and not good. The first opportunity that I'm talking about, online business, I've got to maintain that. We've got customers, so I've got to do some effort there. The second one, I can just forget about half of it, and I can go on to the other half, which is still very important to me and something I'm still going to pursue. So you have to look at these things positively. But really, it's all about assiduity. To quote Charlie Munger again, you get your ass in the chair and you do it. And if you're not putting your ass in the chair, if you're not getting down to work, if you're not building yourself, as building your skills, building your presence, building your profile, if you're not doing these things, how can you honestly think you're moving towards your goal? You can't. The more I get into this, the more I realize you got to keep moving, got to keep growing, and nobody's going to give you anything if you can't see, if you can't show that, and show it, and you have to have action, you have to have results. Talk is cheap. So yeah, that was it. Maybe this is a bit harsh for me, and normally I'm light and funny, right? So, but, these things happen. And I'm excited for the future. Actually, both of these projects are still kind of exciting projects for me. So I'm really looking forward to getting on with them. I am getting on with them. I'm just taking a little break, 10 minutes to do this video. It's too long, I know. You don't care that much, but I just wanted to vent a little bit. Maybe you'll get something from this. And, maybe I sound like a dick, but if you want assistance with your business, I'll give it a shot, as long as you do what you talk about doing. And as long as we know at the beginning that we start the way we start, and things go on like that. We don't jump ship in the middle, change paths in the middle, as far as the relationship goes. So, there you go. Anyway, a little bit of a different video from me, perhaps, and this one won't get a lot of views, but I'll see you soon, and very soon have some series starting, And I have another channel, by the way, that has travel videos of Japan. So I'll put a link to that if I can figure out how to do that. Thanks for watching.